Hello and welcome back to the mayhem. So what we've got is a table that's getting a little bit cleaner. So hoping to pretty soon get the printer, the purple printer there in that enclosure to the level of these two here. So in this video, what we're going to be doing is doing extruder assembly. Let's get started. All right, welcome back. So we've got some components that are laid out here. Obviously these purple components are 3D printed. These are our extruder components. Various different pieces, we'll go through them as we're starting to build. But one of the first pieces that we're going to need is this piece here, according to the directions. Now also on the table, you'll notice that I've got a couple of bags laid out here. One says E-axis, and it has some hardware in it. You can see the bag on from Prusa has all of the hardware. It's all labeled. It's got the links, and these are actual sizes of the screws. You can see there's some components here. There's also magnets. We talked about magnets in one of the earlier videos. And then here you can see some of the components here for the extruder. The E-axis and extruder are one and the same. So here you can see there's quite a few electrical components here, including the fan, the super pinda, an IR sensor cable, the IR sensor, that's for the filament detection, Bondtech gear, and a PTFE tube, and some zip ties. Alrighty, let's back the truck up a bit. I'm going to put all these parts back in this bag here because the instructions that I just pulled up are a bit different. I'm going to put this stuff back in here. We'll leave our hardware out. We are going to need it. Leave that out here. Okay. So, according to this other set of directions, we're going to go extruder body preparation. So we're going to go with this piece. We're going to go with that piece and that piece. So here's the extruder body. This is part of the filament sensor, and this is another part of the filament sensor. Okay, so we're going to take our square nuts here, insert them in. Make sure that they're all the way in, and we're going to line them up. So there it is. It's lined up. There's where the one goes. The other one goes here. So one of the things that I know I'm going to need to do is trim this area out so this can clamp. Secure the nut using an M10 screw. So we're going to take our M10 screw, we're going to put it in here. We're going to secure the nut. Just like so. Okay. Now we're going to take the two M3 end nuts and put them in. Use the screw pulling technique. It's like the old NASCAR adage. Tighten it down till it strips, then back it off a half a turn. Not really, don't do that. All right, so that one's in there. All right, that's got that, that's got that, okay. Take the smaller magnet and insert it carefully into the FS lever. Keep in mind, that's a magnet, and it's going to want to magnetize to stuff. So on this, you want to tighten it down till it's snug. But then allow it to move back and forth. So I tighten it down until it quits moving and back it off. Touch. That's that. Okay, now we're going to put the magnets in. So the smaller magnet goes in the lever, like so. The larger magnet goes in the larger slot. Now, here's the trick to this. They have to repel each other. That is not repelling. It's actually pulling it together. So if you take the magnet and you turn it around, it will then start repelling. Just like just like that. It will repel all the way out of the stupid mechanism. Okay. We're going to take this piece, we're going to put the steel ball in it. Boom. Real tricky stuff there. Now, we're going to put that into the extruder body. So it's going to go into there. Just like that. And I can't show you because the stupid magnets will pop out. But it goes just like that. Actually, I think I'm going to glue these magnets in place just because they're wanting to be annoying. Okay, there we go. We're glued down. Jeez Louise. Okay. So, super glue is your friend in this case. All right, so what it should do is push itself away. Okay. Now the way that works is that when you have filament, and your filament goes into the body, it's going to go into this hole right here. And that little movement there is tracked by the sensor that goes right on top here and reads off of this little point right here. Okay, so when it goes in, it says, okay, I have filament. And then you can see the rest of the channel there. Okay, so that's proper operation. Okay. So we got that, we got the ball in there. He's secured in place like he's supposed to be. Alrighty, now we're going to take and do the extruder part. So we need the extruder motor, which we have here. Okay, now we're not going to need this piece here, so we'll take him off. Then we're going to take our motor, set him on the table. We're going to put this like so. Take our two M10s, and they are both going to go one there, one there. Now we're going to rotate the shaft so that it's flat on this side. And basically what we're going to do is we're looking to get our filament lined up in this groove, and then also inside those serrated teeth right there. Okay, good and tight. You can see now where it sits. It sits right down in the groove and falls right into place, just like so. Okay, so that's that step. Take a square nut and slide the nut in right there. So we're going to take a square nut. All right, now we're going to use our hot end. Now we're going to reuse our existing hot end. Right now prices are pretty high, so I didn't go and buy another hot end. So we'll just use our existing hot end here. It says take the two M10s, put them here, there, and there. And we'll set that on the edge. Okay. I'm going to pull the PTFE tube, one of these PTFE tubes out, put it into our extruder, as we're about to place our extruder in. So the way this works is there's a tapered end, tapered on the outside, and this is tapered on the inside. The taper on the inside is to help feed the filament in. So we're going to push this in. Once we get it in and all the way down, we're going to pull up on this locking ring right here. What this does is help lock this thing in place, because you don't want a gap between these two pieces here. Okay, so it's a gentle push in and then push all the way hard. Pull the ring up, make sure it doesn't pull out. If you have a gap in there, your filament's going to fill up, and that's not going to be a good thing. Now this goes here. It's going to have us place this. So it's going to go like so. Okay. Now we're going to take and put this on right here. And then the M40s go in right here. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Because the next thing that we need to do is feed the IR cable. All right, so I've got the X carriage on right here. I went ahead and looked in the directions. We've already installed the nuts. We're going to go ahead and we've got the IR cable. Going to take our smaller connector and put it up here. And make a slight loop here. We've got a little bit of a loop here. We'll pull that. This whole bracketry thing is going to go against the surface here. Allen wrench. We're going to take those two M10s that we had right here. Run those guys in just a little bit. Now we're going to rotate back. We're going to make sure that we're kind of up in our channel. This cable here is still free to move. Okay, now it's really important not to touch this section here. That section there, you don't want to touch it, because that's what reads on that other little sensor up there. So we're going to lay him down right here. We're going to make sure that our connector is oriented correctly. So it's going to be oriented where the connector tab is up and the red is on the right side. So we're going to take this guy, Plug him in just like that. And we're going to take this guy, tighten it down to the housing a bit. One of the things that I like to do, this can be a bind point, okay? This sensor doesn't have to be tight. Back it off a scotch. Let that sensor move around a bit, okay? Install the M40. Okay, good enough. That's got that. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is get our Nocturna fan. We're going to take 3 14mm long screws. They're going to go right in here. Okay. So we've got a little bit of wire to work with here. Okay. It's going to install just like so. Snug. That's that. So that fan is installed. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right inside this channel here, helping hold the wires in here. Okay. We're going to work on the idler here. Work on this piece here. Okay. What we're going to do is we'll go ahead and pull this nut in. Okay. Now, all right, and I'm back. All right, so what I got a 1/8 inch drill bit, not on a drill motor, just by hand. I'm going to take it and open that up. Be careful not to snap the plastic. Okay, there we go. Got that opened up. Now this should slide in here, no problem, and it does. Okay, so what we're going to do is, we know that it installs this way. We're going to install this like that, just like so. Make sure that spins. Okay. This is going to install in this spot here. So we're going to take one of our 40s, the one without the spring. It's going to insert You see that's still got some play to it. It's snug, so it's pulling, and then it's got some play to it right there, okay? And that's what we want. We want it to be able to move just a little bit. So you can see our screw hole here. It goes and threads into that idler door. I want to make sure that idler door is closed, and it is. You can feel that it's closed because it's flush on the other side. I'm going to take the screw with the spring on it. Okay, So it's just below surface level now. Now, if you're running something like a TPU or a flex filament, that's a softer filament, okay? It's gonna crush a lot easier. One of the things that you're gonna wanna do is back this screw off just as much as you can and still let it feed. What this does is it feeds and retracts, feeds and retracts, feeds and retracts. So whenever it's going to do a rapid move from one spot to another, it'll actually retract just a little bit. So it'll pop up and retract just a hair. So, but with the filaments and the way that I set things up, I set it up to where it's just below the surface there, okay? The print fan support. So this is going to install just like this. It goes right up underneath. So here's the print fan support. It's got an M10 that goes into here, right into the body. So that screw right there threads in. And then you want to make sure that this is level and that's tight, okay? The print fan support. So this is what it looks like. This is how it prints out. Now, it's got this little block plate in here. I like to pull that block plate out. Okay, I think that they put it in there for print support. This helps open up the airways on the sides. Okay, now this is a new design. They just came out with this not long ago. And one of the things that they added on this design is they added this little piece here. It keeps the fan from sagging down. All the other ones were only attached in one spot, and this whole side would sag down. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put a square nut right in here. Okay, here it is, clicks into place. You can see the holes there, and 320 is going to go right through right there. I'm going to take this guy. He's going to go right in here. So we slide this into the body like there. Let that fit there. This is going to go up and in we're going to go. Print fan. One of these to go right inside of here. Now we're going to get our fan, which is here. Now this fan has been through the ringer. It's got a cracked case on it, but that's okay. We'll use it anyways. Okay, and they want us to put in a couple of more M20s. Don't kill it, just snug. That's it, that's all that requires. Take our M20, line him up here. Not a big deal. It'll hold just fine. Now it wants us to run our wires. Install the pinda sensor, install this such that the wire is being held in place behind the sensor, like so. And ideally it should sit just above the level of the extruder nozzle. I'm going to go ahead and give that a little bit of snugness just so that it doesn't move, and that's it for that. This cover and an M10. That's that. Our filament, which is this piece, 3mm filament. I believe this one was used previously. We'll just reuse it. You're going to want to trim it at an angle. like that. Okay. It's going to insert into the back. There's a hole right here. That hole is where this filament goes into. So it goes into there, and it is a guide for all the rest of the wiring. That's it. So that's going to go right there. So what that's going to do is help keep our wiring up and off of anything that's down here. Okay. Then we needed to prepare the X carriage back. So let's see here. Okay. So it looks like we've got one square nut that goes in there. Like so. All right, now we're going to take, I think this guy here is going to go right in there. That looks appropriate. All right, so that guy right there is going to go right into, yeah, there. All right. Get that lined up really nice and smooth. Just like so. Alrighty, now is where it's going to get fun and tricky. So now we're going to start pulling the cables through. All right, now we're going to need 4 M10 screws, and they're going to go in these holes here. There's 1, 2, 3, and then one down here. Now, one of the things that I'm going to show you guys, whenever you're setting your printer up, one of the things that can throw your printer off is if this isn't allowed to come all the way over and contact your limit switch that's right here on this side. So if you slide this over, you can tell where it hits. Okay, right now we're pretty close to where this plastic piece is here. You see that? Okay. So you're pretty close there, so you have to make sure that you're good and tight there. Now let's look at the other side and see what the other side looks like. Because the other side's also going to bottom out. So when it bottoms out, it's pretty much the same deal. Okay, so it's going to bottom out all the way over. So what that tells us is that we need to make sure that when we bundle all of our wires, that we are within this plastic piece here. Okay, otherwise if it's sticking out, it's going to hit the frame and it's not going to index over like it should. Okay, let's take this and split it. Go like that. And like that. Now what I like to do here is go ahead and attach the hot end cables and the thermistor cable. Okay, so that's got the bottom part here. Now we need to fit all of this stuff up in the textile sleeve. take our textile wrap, start here. Pull tight. And check the tightness on these before we trim them. We're going to recheck our end stops, make sure that it all works. Now we'll come over here and we'll check this one. Okay, and it goes over almost all of the way. That looks really good. Okay, so that bottoms out on that frame side. So that's good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the remainder of this cabling for the heat bed, or not the heat bed, the heater block and the thermistor cable, and we're going to route it inside the textile sleeve. Okay. And that's it for the E-axis. All right, so that's the extruder axis install. Alrighty. Next up, we'll do the heat bed. All right, so thanks for tagging along on that video. That was extruder. It was harder the first time that I put it together. That actually went together pretty easily. Lots of little steps. Probably one of the harder things is just getting the wiring routed correctly. But overall, it's not too bad. You follow the instructions from Prusa, do some things that make sense, double check your work, just like, you know, checking the wiring. And yeah, everything will come together just fine. So if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications for whenever I'm submitting the videos. Typically I submit videos every 3 days. Make some comments. I respond to all comments, at least now. Yeah, so that's it. So next video, we'll install the heat bed. That'll be pretty quick. And then after we do the heat bed install, then we'll do the electrical. And then we should have another video where we're doing the setup and the initial calibration run, which that'll be very exciting. It'll be nice to have 3 printers running again. All right, so thanks for hanging out with my mayhem, and you have a great day. Hi.
You should go with Mom on the walk.
Oh, I should go with Mom on a walk.
She's going now.
Okay, I will. I need. Alrighty, so had to go walk the pooch. There we go. Let me get my cord separated back out here. Okay, so what that looks like is this guy here. So this is the print fan support. There. Come on. There we go. All right, so that's good. Alrighty. And I got feet all caught up in wires, and yeah, it's starting to be a mess. It will then start repelling. Just like just like that. It will repel all the way out of the stupid mechanism.